unfortunately, we don't have, our system will not allow us to do it automatically. We have to do it manually. So we have run the video twice a week, which we do manually, thanks to Mr. Sewell.
When?
Yeah. It's scheduled.
Is there a system?
If that's scheduled.
Is there a schedule?
Specific night and time?
Doesn't seem like there is.
Yeah.
Well, Bob was just there. So. Oh, rebroadcasting the meetings, is there a schedule?
Yeah, Mr. Sulu would like it around 8 o'clock and then, right at 1 o'clock.
Same day?
Yes. It'll be run, Tuesday and Thursday.
Tuesdays and Thursdays? Twice.
Yes, and again, that has to be done manually.
8 p.m.?
8 a.m. and
8 a.m.
1
and
p.m.
1
I
p.m.?
believe. If it's got to be manually, it's got to be while people are in the office.
Okay. All right.
Next we have Madeline Jones.
Good evening, Madeline Jones, Morrisville Borough. And I want to follow up again on the titles for each of you. And I hope what is in front of you, Mr. Kerner, is not one of the titles or how they're going to be distributed that were ordered. So again, it would be easier because I have something I would like to address the council, but I have no idea who to address or how to approach the council. Just what Audrey, Mr. C were talking about, I did a rough sketch, and it was glad that it's being talked about for the council meeting replay schedule. I just did up a rough draft, and I picked Monday, June 6th, council meeting will replay daily at, I had 7 a.m., 2 p.m., 7 p.m., 11 p.m. Because other townships, do it to accommodate the residents, those who sleep during the day and work at night. So I'm glad it's being discussed, and I understand that because it has to be, I guess, hands-on, somebody has to be here to do it, but it should be done for a few weeks after the meeting, not just 1 day or 2 days. So your effort to enhance the quality of life for the residents, so we all know what's going on, would be appreciated. And I came in tonight and I thought agenda items, the schedule was on the back table, so I don't know if there's any left up here, but may I approach the table and pick up something, please?
Sure.
Borough of Morrisville Resolution 708. It has to do with public comment. And I don't know if we're allowed to take one of these, but I would like a copy, if not tonight, to stop by the borough office to pick up so I can read it and comment.
You are the last commenter, so it's all yours.
I'm sorry?
You're the last commenter tonight, so it's all yours.
Thank you for that, thank you. And I also stopped in today and picked up the noise ordinance, okay, for the borough. And I was glad to hear, if I have a few minutes, let me know when my 10 minutes is up, please. Maybe it could be a few seconds before him. The borough of Morrisville finding the excessive levels of sound are detrimental to the physical, mental, social well-being of the people as to their comfort, living condition, general welfare, safety. It's a threat. It's a hazard, welfare threat. So if anyone listening or, would like a copy of what the noise ordinance says, please stop by and you'll get a copy from the Borough Hall. Also, I have to compliment everyone up there tonight regarding your attire, professional. Okay, many, not too long ago, but let's take a minute to, before I get into that, on the noise ordinance, when you get a second, type in, and this is for everyone, noise pollution. You'll see what, I belong to the Right to Quiet Society for many years. They're out of Canada. There's others right here in our country that have a lot to say. noise affects everyone. When you have, I don't know if there's a dog kennel around here, but the barking goes on for 45 minutes sometimes, different hours of the day and night. A few nights between 10 and 12, I've heard different either boom boxes or live music. It penetrated literally the walls. So that's what prompted me to find out what your ordinance says. But it should be the same as everywhere, for the safety, health, and well-being of everyone. So I don't know if something at some point can be put on the government channel, a reminder perhaps of the noise ordinance, the general. This one, what I was reading, is actually chapter 118, animals, which 118.1, intent and purpose, that covers everything, not just animals. It just covers general coverage. But on dress, if I could take a few minutes. I wrote a letter to the editor in response to a local high school student across the river about dress code. And I responded to that, and the second part, toward the end of the letter, I put, now let's look at the workplace attire. And I did not, at the time, include professional meetings. Many types of workplaces, retail industry, medical, road crews, parks, public relations, which I guess, council members are, military, rescue units, law enforcement. There's a place for proper, respectful dress, footwear, and jewelry code. And I think that also includes our young junior council person. I don't think jeans or any type of fad should be permitted. I think everyone should be well-dressed. So, because I can remember being in the corporate world, and way back when we were all, professional, and then came down to dress down Fridays, casual, and lax on the phone, lax professionally. It all started to play down. Put your feet up on the desk and you're talking to the phone. Then came Jean Friday. You contributed to the cancer fund. For $5, you could wear jeans on Friday. And that even became less respectful. So please, you represent us, represent each other. We all should be well-groomed and dressed. And I have to agree, please, I appreciate you letting me finish without interrupting, but also I hopefully, should be your concern, that we're able to speak without any background noise here. So I hope you keep that in mind too. Any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Concludes the hearing of the public unless anyone has something needed they'd like to say. We'll move on to 6, the approval of the minutes. First up, we have 6A, regular Borough Council meeting minutes of 4/18/16. May I have a motion?
Second.
And Debbie? Any comments or questions on these minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 8-0. Next we have 6B, the regular Borough Council meeting minutes of 5/16/16. May I have a motion?
Second.
And Corinne this time, any comments or questions on those minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Also passes 8-0. Moving right along to 7, we have reports, starting with 7A, the manager's report.
Yes, I'd like just to add a few things on behalf of my report, is that, again, I know several people have talked about certain projects that we're working on in the community. I went to a meeting on Friday about the Bridge Street Canal improvement. We're at the point right now, we're looking for the funding that's coming from, for the planning and comprehensive plans, which is in place. However, we're still looking probably like 2 years down the road to have that completed. Again, I'm also working along with Falls Township on behalf of our entranceways coming from Falls Township to make sure that they do their part as well on keeping Morrisville in good shape. Thank you, that's it.
Seven B, a solicitor's report.
No report this evening, Mr. President.
And seven C, an engineer's report.
Good evening. My name is Samantha Berger from Gilmore and Associates for the Borough Engineer. And tonight I would like to talk about the Imagination Island Playground at Williamson Park. We conducted an inspection on the playground for the existing structures and the play components within the Imagination Island Playground at Williamson Park. During our inspection, a review of the playground revealed multiple items that were potentially non-compliant and needed more comprehensive review. A summary of these findings can be found in the memo that I put on your desk. I just kind of wanted to give a brief intro to our findings so that the public and the residents know why, the playground is closed at this time. I'm going to read the introduction paragraph for the public. A cursory visual review of the playground revealed multiple items that were potentially non-compliant and needed more comprehensive review. A summary of those findings can be found below. The presumed costs involved taking care of the cosmetic work, the structural repairs, and repairs or alterations to meet compliance standards, would approach or potentially greatly exceed the cost of a new playground. Many of these alterations would require significant dismantling and reconstruction of play components and may still not meet ADA accessibility standards. Due to the number of non-compliant items, the severity of potential injury, and the complexity of the inability to repair these items, it is our recommendation that the playground not be reopened. The existing safety fence shall remain up until the playground equipment can be removed to continue to prevent access. The fencing shall be checked periodically for damage and toppling. If the playground is to remain in its current state for an extended period of time, it is our recommendation that the orange safety fence be replaced with a 6-foot-high minimum chain link fence, construction fence, and appropriate signage. We found multiple deficiencies throughout the playground, which are noted in our report. But I just want to reiterate that, a lot of these are safety concerns with the playground condition, and so that is why we are recommending the closure of the playground. It is our opinion that it is not financially prudent nor the community's best interest to attempt to repair or renovate to the existing equipment. We are looking into options for new playground equipment. There are several grants out there that we can apply for. So at this time, we are considering those options for the borough. We do not want the residents to go without a playground for an extended period of time, so we are working on those options. Does anyone have any questions regarding the playground inspection report?
Just on the timeframe of the grants that you're talking about, is it something that's coming up soon on the deadline to go in?
Yes, there are a couple that are due soon. There's the Kaboom Build It Yourself grant, which would be due July 1st. So if you would like for us to prepare that grant, I would suggest that a motion be made tonight. Would you like me to go into what the Kaboom grant is?
Yes, yeah.
The Kaboom grant may be a good, quick option for the borough. Based on a conversation with someone from Kaboom, there are two grant types, Build It Yourself or Build It Kaboom. We found that the best grant for the borough would be Build It Yourself. There are no Build It with Kaboom contributors or funding partners within this area. So we are suggesting Build It Yourself, and along with that, Build It Yourself grant requires you to spend $24,000 to $40,000 on the playground structure itself. This does not include the servicing or site preparation of the playground area. Those would be extra costs added to the borough. But this grant would give $9,000 straight to one of 4 approved playground structure vendors. Then the vendor takes off the additional $6,000, totaling $15,000. So for example, if we spend $24,000 on a playground structure and we're awarded this grant, we would only pay the remaining $9,000. Okay? for the structure. There's 4 different types of structures that we can choose from to fit the residents' needs. The application deadline is July 1st. They will contact us after the grant is submitted for the supporting documentation such as soil testing in the location of where the new playground will be placed. The awards are given 2 months after the grant application is submitted. If for some reason we were denied, we can resubmit their next cycle within, which is a few days after these awards are given. So this is like a rolling grant that's about every 2 months, so we would recommend that, you know, if you would like us to move forward with preparing the grant application for Kahoon based on the 4 options for the playground equipment, you may want to make a motion tonight to submit for July 1st unless you want to wait for the next round. But I'll leave that up to you. There is a website for them. I don't have the website address, but I can give that. And can we post it on the website or?
Post what on the website?
Or can?
Mr. Subi can make it available.
Okay, Mr. Zuby will make it available. Thank you. Sorry.
So this is probably the most reasonable amount right now to put forward in order to get something pretty quickly, or a decision on it pretty quickly from the board.
To get equipment back in the park as quickly as possible, the Kaboom opportunity seems to be the most reasonable. There are other options such as the DCD Greenway Trails program that we could submit for, but that requires a 15% match as long, and it's a longer waiting period to determine when the awards will be granted.
So the Kaboom, we have to supply the volunteer to build it once it's here,
Correct.
or there are workers and volunteers to install it.
Correct.
Okay.
And say we did go for the July 1st grant, what would be the turnaround time? Do we have a playground by October?
I would have to look into the, how long the turnaround period is for Kaboom to supply that, but,
I'm just thinking there may not be a rush now, because if it's gonna be a certain wait time, if we apply to 2 months, we would have it in for next spring.
I would have to contact the contact.
Sam, he said there's
And I'll
every
get
2
back to
months.
Mr. Subi and he can let you know. Okay,
All right,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. Next we have 7D, our mayor's report.
Thank you, Fred. It's a rather lengthy report tonight, so please bear with me. It's actually touching on some of the things that were brought up in the comments. I hope our chief will touch on the comments about 3 issues with firearms, which I understand are particularly concerned, but my understanding that 2 of those incidents did not occur with firearms. So I'd like to start tonight by congratulating Chief McClay for being chosen by the Fairless Hills Elks Lodge as Citizen of the Year. For those of you who couldn't join us, Chief McClay was recognized on Sunday, June 12th, during the Flag Day ceremony of the Elks Lodge. I'd also like to thank the Elks Lodge for recognizing our chief and for the grant that they awarded to the police department. I'd like to thank the 3rd graders from Holy Trinity and their teacher, Mrs. Peraglia, who accepted my invitation to spend the afternoon here at Borough Hall. Thank you to everyone here at the Borough for being so welcoming of students. It is lit up. Yeah, maybe we can get some extra feedback. And congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Blackham. If you really didn't hear, I mean, I can start over. I've been really long. All right, I'm going to start over now, just to make sure everybody heard. I want to start by congratulating Chief McClay for being chosen by the Fairless Hills Elks Lodge. He was chosen as the Citizen of the Year. For those of you who couldn't join us, Chief McClay was recognized on Sunday, June 12th, during the Flag Day ceremony at the Elks Lodge. I'd like to thank the Elks for recognizing our chief and for the grant they awarded to the police department. I'd like to thank the third graders from Holy Trinity School and their teacher, Mrs. Peraglia, for accepting my invitation to spend the afternoon with me here at Borough Hall. Thank you to everyone that was here that helped welcome the students. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Blanco, who I was privileged to marry right here in council chambers a few weeks ago. They asked me to perform the ceremony because Morrisville had sentimental meaning to them as they met in Morrisville many years ago. I have good news regarding the yield to pedestrian crosswalk signs that we have in our borough. I was able to get over $6,000 worth of signs given to the borough, meaning the borough will not have to purchase new ones. While I'm on the subject of grant-related information, I wanted to assure everyone that Chief McClay and I will continue to work to obtain grant money for the borough-wide camera program. I have been in contact with several individuals, businesses, organizations, currently working with the governor's office, hopefully obtaining available grant opportunities. Although I believe it's premature to discuss the details. I'm bringing this up because I don't want anyone to think that we've lost interest or to begin spreading incorrect rumors regarding our position. I believe most people realize how much work was into locating and applying for grants. As an update, I wanted to remind everyone of the grants that the borough has been working on for the MR Ryder project. I had identified a grant to help cover demolition. I was thankful to see that the council is moving forward on the project. Grants are obtained through a process and they're rarely awarded overnight. As we wait for grant decisions, the borough and the school district had to actually extend the agreement on the property. On May 1st, I requested information from our borough manager. I thought it was better to do it this way as an RFI than a right to know, to regard some information on the current subject. Unfortunately, I've still not received any documents, so I appreciate that ASAP. I'd also appreciate a little more transparency with the administration. Last week at the special council meeting, we had an executive session for 2 different items without being notified prior to the meeting, which means the information could not be gathered by the elected officials to prepare for exec session. I doubt the members of the RDA just popped in during our meeting, and having them attend was prearranged. The elected officials, in my opinion, should have been notified. Likewise, we had a personnel issue. It was discussed in executive session. Had we all been notified beforehand, possibly more than one elected official could have had the employee contract handy during the discussion. I don't normally address rumors simply because that could morph into a full-time job, since there's always a new baseless rumor floating around our borough. But if anyone tells you I plan on running for a council seat next election, simply put, they're lying to you. Ask yourself why this person is disrespecting you by gossiping and lies to you. I believe our community will be better if when folks are seeking information, just go to the source. Please, you have to stop relying on gossipers. A few days ago, there was an incident in the middle of town, and I'd like to actually compliment our police department on how quickly and professionally everything was handled. I'm sure most people saw it, even maybe, I think, Action News. And lastly, but certainly not least, I'd like to congratulate all the graduates in our little borough and to their families. That's kind of my report.
Mayor, next we have 7E, the police chief report.
Unfortunately, tonight my report's going to be quite lengthy too, so I can straighten out some misconceptions of what's going on in our town. Number one, let's start with 2.5 years ago. And the only thing we had was a Facebook page. We didn't have Nixle, we didn't have a web page. We do now. They are used when I need them. The other morning during our shooting, everybody saw out there 4:50 in the morning, I was out there. I cannot stop my investigation to come in and do a Nixle message so people can avoid a couple blocks of our town. No one was in danger. If anybody was in danger, I would have put that out there. They were nowhere in danger. Everybody was arrested and apprehended, and the weapon was recovered. 7-Eleven. The incident that we spoke about during public comment was a retail theft. The gentleman climbed over the fence in the back into an open door at 7-Eleven. Walked in and helped himself to cigarettes. Jumped back over the fence and left. All the cigarettes were recovered and given back to 7-Eleven. No, we did not apprehend him. That was not a gunpoint robbery, that was a theft. The crime in your borough, yes, it is increasing, no doubt about it. If you remember back a month ago, 2 months ago, I said, we did very well for 2 years. The crime went down. Well, if I'm covering up crime, there's your stats. My crime rate this year is up 43%. So if I'm covering it up, I'm doing a horrible job at it. Our arrests. Talk about some of our arrests this month. Our burglary's up huge in the area of Trenton and Delmore. Same gentleman did about 10 jobs. And Officer Danny arrested him at 4:45 in the morning last week. He was sent to jail on $10,000 bail. That wasn't good enough for me. I went back before the district attorney's office and had to raise it to $25,000 on 2 counts. He's not getting out. And in the meantime, the burglaries have stopped. We did have a robbery on Saturday night when I was working on my bike, which I'm all over town, which I don't understand how people have not seen me on the bike, because it's been all over Facebook, and I've had some huge compliments, how people are so happy seeing that out there. You can't miss a guy like this driving around like this. Okay, well, I'm just going by comments. So we made an arrest Saturday night. We had 3 males push a guy off a bike. All 3 males were arrested. All the robberies that we have so far as I know this year are cleared. That robbery that supposedly occurred down on the canal, I spoke to that gentleman. Sometimes you gotta let me investigate things and realize what really is a crime and what really isn't. Okay? The police department's doing very well. Bike patrols are out there. Right now it's only me. Mike Andy hasn't had a chance to get out there because he's been covering everybody else's shift. But he will be out there. My department's open to anybody who ever wants to see these crime stats. These crime stats were done by the FBI, UCR, and they are exactly the way they're supposed to be done. Maybe not years ago they were done that way, but they're done that way now. And they are coded the way they're supposed to be coded. Like we talked about burglaries at sheds. I talked about the guys that are around us in different departments. They make those thefts. They're not thefts, they're burglaries. So I code things the way they're supposed to be done. These are on our website every month. You're gonna look, my drug arrests are down. My main drug guy has been hurt. Remember, he got hurt on top of the train that day. So, he's my main drug guy. Mike Andy and, Lee's been out working, but not as much. So my drug arrests are down. So my crime rate's up, and my arrests are down. Am I happy about that? No. We're going to improve both. But a lot of times it's always no. There's not much you can do about crime. It's going to happen. It's how you react to it, and how you react to the burglars when they happen, and figure out where they happen so you can put your guys in the right place. And that's been done. Okay, everything's tracked, time-wise, date-wise, place-wise, and when guys respond to it. There's a crime log that's done after every tour, so the rest of the officers know what is going on in the previous 12 hours. Everybody gets that on their emails. All right? Anybody ever has any questions about what is going on in town, please call me. Because the rumors that are floating around town are very discouraging. Most of them are very, very untrue. So if anybody ever has anything, and any one of your constituents ask you, please call me. That phone's on 24 hours a day. Everybody knows that. okay? So besides that, things are doing well in the police department. Guys are working hard, and right now, we're in a good spot. Any questions?
Chief, if I may,
Sir?
just for clarification, did you say crime is up 43% for the year?
Yes. You do get, you
Yes.
get the crime stat reports?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was 43%.
That's it. And if you look at the last months from January, you'll see how it, and I warned you about that. We had two terrific years. But you never keep it all the way down. Because there's a lot of things that go on. I can't do anything about retail thefts. Right? I can't much do anything about a Bernie Sanders sign getting stolen on somebody's front lawn. That's a report that I took this month. And if I was covering up crime, that would have been the first thing I covered up. But those things happen. I don't cover those things up. They're all part of what's in there. What's amazing is, remember a year and a half ago, Victor?
Yes.
We talked about bicycle thefts. I looked at you and said, why do we have so many bicycle thefts?
Bernie, can I ask you, oh, sorry.
This year we've had 3.
Can I
So,
ask you a question? Where are your major increases in what crime?
I can't hear you.
Where are your major increases? What crime?
Burglary.
Residential?
We had a pizza place up there at the shopping center got hit, the chiropractor's office, the salon got hit, everything was right there. But most of them were businesses at nighttime.
Trenton guy?
Yes, he was. But let's not go there. Remember our little chase through town the other day with 2 of our fine local people. So I can't blame everything over there. The robbery at Taft and Trenton. One kid that went to Trenton was from Mississippi. So, and the other 2 lived in the apartments. And all 3 were apprehended and confessed to the crime. So that's what you really got to look at. You got to look at some things you're not going to be able to stop, but it's how my officers respond to the crime and secure the crime scene and process the crime scene, and we get the bad guy in jail. That's what you got to look at. My guys have done a pretty terrific job.
Chief, again, burglaries, the majority of the burglaries are commercial?
The ones that are, there's very few house burglaries, but there are been shed burglaries. Like the one that, the night that Mike Deaney got that guy. He was breaking into a shed. He was previously at the same place the night before, and also at the chiropractor's office that night, I believe. But yeah, but since then, they stopped. And we also had a picture of the guy inside the pizza place. 99%, I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. Can I convict him on it? Probably not. So he wasn't charged with it. But face to face, taking a picture off against him.
Chief, are you finding that there's any change in, how the burglaries are as far as like at night, during the day? Is there anything that's changed?
They're
with that?
nighttime, they're late at night,
Very late at night?
4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Like the one burglary that was at the chiropractor's office was 4:53 in the morning. So that was on whatever night it was. I had Mike Deaney at the bridge the next night at 4:53 in the morning waiting for the guy to come over.
So even the businesses, most of it is after they're closed, not when they're open?
Well, if they're open, that wouldn't be a burglary.
Yeah, that'd be, yeah,
It would be a robbery,
yeah, oh yeah, I'm sorry,
which we don't.
yeah. All right, but they're being targeted mainly at night.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Any other questions?
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
We move then on to finance, 8A, a motion to pay the bills. May I have a bill list reading, please?
Yes, the general fund, $510,532.07. The street lighting fund is $34,628.40. Library fund is $4,166.58. Recreation fund, $2,031.54. Sinking fund, $2,948.85. Street fund, $1,017.18. State highway fund, $7,948.11. Morrisville Borough Officer Retired Jones, $648.64. for a total of $563,921.37 since the last meeting, $233,785.01 for a grand total of $797,706.38.
May I have a motion to pay those bills?
So moved.
Maureen and Ted, any discussion on the bills?
Yeah, I have some questions. The first one I want to state is on report date 06/10/16 GL-1605 on page 3. I am abstaining on voting for any invoices for vendor Sanford Motors Ltd. due to family member conflict of interest. Invoice number 012268 in the amount of $166. And also on report date 06/17/16 GL-1606 on page 3, invoice number 012316 in the amount of $89. And I have a question on report date 06/17 or 17/16 GL-1606 on page 1, vendor number 141, Armor and Sons Electric Incorporated. I have a question. The lights that are on Pennsylvania Route 1, northbound ramp, are we responsible for that? Or is the Delaware Joint Bridge Commission?
I'm sorry, at what location?
You want me to refer back to the tape?
The
The
location of the light.
location of the light, okay, it's on Pennsylvania, it says Pennsylvania Avenue, Route 1, northbound ramp. I would assume
That's a traffic light?
the traffic light, the one they put in when they bought in,
That's ours.
that's ours. I had no idea.
What was your question, Todd?
Well,
Traffic light, that blinking light.
blinking light.
No, there are lights,
There are lights.
correct.
So before they widened the bridge, we never had a light there, and they put that light there because they had to make changes to the ramp. They took one ramp out.
No, the Bridge Commission redesigned the ramps going to north and south on their property. Back then, the borough manager did agree that the borough of Morrisville would apply for the permit and did take responsibility for the lights. The lights are the property and the responsibility of the borough of Morrisville.
All of the expenses to keep it fixed. I've spent more money on that light than any other light combined in the borough. And leaving it on blinking,
Let me ask you,
it was
George,
almost, the traffic flows better with it on blinking.
I know, I agree with you on that.
does the permit require it to be a light that changes? Or can we leave it on the blink?
At this point in time, the repair is under,
Not to repair.
I don't
is
know.
under repair, and we would have to, the original permit,
We'll look at the permit and see
Look
what
at
it
the
says.
permit, and then make a
Function.
recommendation as to whether we leave it on the blink. I agree with you, I think the blinking light is better. It's less expensive and it's probably more effective.
Because everything else has a stop sign. So it actually works very well.
Take a look at it.
Oh, all right, you will.
All right, I agree on that. And one other question. Yeah, on page 2, report date 06/17/16, vendor 1879, the PA State Association Borough. I sent a check in dated May 2nd in the amount of $190. Why does that show up on the invoice? Because that should be separate, that was made to Pennsylvania State Boroughs Association.
I know, but we prepaid it,
Oh, you did?
yes.
So, should we, you're just gonna take that amount off of what you owe me, or? I mean, I sent a check in, I thought that.
Yeah, I remember, you came in with a check. I'll just check into it, but I want to be sure that, but no, you were everything, you did everything correctly.
Okay.
It just showed up, I guess it's just because we did issue a check for that.
Then you shouldn't put that on the expense.
He just doesn't want to pay his claim.
Yeah. Thanks, Scott.
Any other questions on the bill list? Todd, you have that in writing?
Yes, I do.
Consensus? Being no further questions, we have a vote on the bills. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 8-0. We move on to new business, having no unfinished business. With 10A, a motion to accept Joseph Kavanaugh's retirement agreement for his June 3, 2016 letter. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Corinne and Vic, any discussion on that?
Yeah, I have some. The way this motion is written, where it's, first of all, thank you for his service. He had 41 years in our borough, so it's a long time to be here working. With his letter that he sent in, it wasn't a letter that just was, he was letting us know when he retired, but also breaking out of his time. And I personally for myself, after we come out of exec, I have to first of all, say I agree with the mayor that I wish I'd had that information ahead of time, since the letter he brought in was on June 3rd, and we should have had that before that meeting came up. So we could have been more prepared for it on what we were discussing. But with all due respect to Mr. Kavanaugh, and I thank him for that service, I can't vote on something that has in there stuff that wasn't in the contract. So that's just my personal view on that, without getting into all the personnel stuff.
I have a problem with it too. As Debbie said in the contract, I don't see that.
Contract.
Yes, they want, they get paid a compensation part.
What exactly was against the contract?
Did you want to get into it?
Sure, it's discussion.
Okay. The sick time and how it's being paid. Everything else is fine, my thing is, whatever we are obligated to, and yes, the contract for anyone, we owe that, and that's what we're supposed to pay, that's what they're entitled to, what's in there, and we are obligated to follow that, which we do. But that's also on their part too, so, I've been told past practice for, I guess, a couple other, people that had taken the sick time the way they do, but it's capped at certain amounts, and so some of the days are being basically converted into, vacation use. So I came to the borough today and spoke with the manager about it and my view on that. So that's just where I stand with that. There's a cap on that in the contract.
Was that addressed in the letter?
Well, what she's stating, what Mrs. Smith is stating is about how he is using the sick time over and above the amount that he's requesting for as at the time of retirement. It's 140 days. I mean, actually, this was an issue that could have been addressed during the contract negotiations. However, I think at this time, I can't take away.
Right, no, I understand, I'm just saying my personal point of view on it. And that's why I say have to agree with the mayor, have to be more forward with making sure that things of this importance gets to us before you ever give it to us, for a meeting. And I know you knew what this was, but that's pretty important, someone retiring, what's in the contract. We got a packet, like I said, the letter came in on the 3rd. We got a packet the following Friday, 10 days. And in that 10 days, most of us, I don't know who all knew, but I didn't know when he was retiring. So the night we come to our agenda meeting, the agenda has changed, and it's on there, and we're expected to go in the back. The mayor also said, you have your contract with you. I would have brought it, so we could have had a more open discussion about it. And we're expected to say, okay, we're ready for this Monday. When I really went home and read that contract and looked at it, I said, I'm not ready for that, no.
Well, and Mrs. Smith, you did have it for the agenda meeting, and that's
Oh, yeah,
tonight, so.
But that's what I'm saying, you weren't prepared to really, I wasn't anyway to speak on that night of the meeting. Anytime you have an executive session, it'd be nice to give it ahead of time, so you are prepared with your information when you go in. And that's happened other times before, not just this time, so just for in the future, if you could.
Well, as of that, I mean, on the part of the retirement, the date that shows on the letter is not the actual date that I received it.
Oh, okay.
However, could have had it sooner, I apologize, because I wanted to make sure that everything went out on that Monday. I was gonna deliver it on Friday, however, I didn't have the information in hand
Okay.
to put it out there to get it to council.
Well, the best way to save yourself with that then